Morning settles gently over the town of Allen, the light soft and golden, as it spills across fields, rooftops, and the narrow roads that wind their way in and out of the valley. Standing near the edge of town, where the eastern road disappears into the mountains, is Ethan Jr., steady and watchful, his posture relaxed but never careless. He is a man shaped by a world that taught him early that safety is something you build, not something you assume. Not far from him, old Ethan moves slowly along the path, a book tucked under his arm, his pace unhurried, his thoughts somewhere between memory and responsibility. In the town square, Holly tends carefully to a small crate of cats, her hands gentle, her focus quiet but unwavering, while her brothers, Mason and Joshua, move with purpose nearby, already carrying the weight of work that never really ends. At the edge of the square, two men stand apart from the crowd. Caleb, strong and grounded, his presence calm but firm, and Zion, sharper, more watchful, his eyes constantly scanning, as if the world has already proven itself untrustworthy. A little further back, leaning casually against the doorway of a small general store, is Tony, easy in his posture, approachable in his smile, and just a little too comfortable for a man who has seen as much as he claims, and watching all of them. From a quiet place, just beyond the movement of the town, is Kennedy, ancient, composed, her gaze steady in a way that suggests she is not observing the present, but measuring it. The town wakes early, not because it has to, but because it always has. At first light, the sentries gather. They call it breakfast, but it is more than that. Inside Caleb's restaurant, the air is warm with the smell of cooking food and quiet conversation. Plates are filled, coffee is poured, and the men and women who keep watch over Allen begin their day together. Caleb moves through the room with ease, setting plates down without needing to be asked. Zion sits near the window, already watching the road. They speak in low voices, not secrets, not exactly, but nothing that needs to be said too loudly. East road's clear, west too. Rivers running high, good for us. Small updates, constant awareness. Ethan Jr. sits among them, listening more than speaking. Old Ethan joins later, slower, quieter, taking a seat without interrupting the flow. At the head of the table sits a man who seems, at first glance, out of place. Mayor Joe, Pastor Joe, Judge Burns, the same man, 3 roles, all necessary. He eats with the others, laughs when appropriate, listens when it matters. There is no ceremony to his authority, only acceptance. Beside him sits Father Philip Phipps, who nods along to most things, occasionally offering a thought, but more often deferring to Mayor Joe with quiet agreement. This is how Allen governs itself. Not perfectly, but well enough. After breakfast, the sentries disperse, some to the roads, some to the outskirts, some simply remain present, visible, because presence is often enough. In the town square, the day unfolds. Holly moves from one small group of farmers to another, carefully negotiating trades. A cat for grain, a pair for tools. Always fair, always measured. She knows the value of what she carries. Nearby, Mason and Joshua work with a group of men repairing a wagon wheel. Their movements efficient, practiced. They speak little, but when they do, others listen. They are becoming something more than laborers, something closer to builders. Across the square, Tony's general store does steady business. He greets everyone by name, remembers what they need, keeps track of what they owe without ever writing it down. Police officer, he once claimed. No one has ever asked him to prove it, and yet Caleb and Zion occasionally exchange a look when Tony isn't watching. Not suspicion, not exactly recognition. At the edge of town, Juan works with a small group of young adults, teaching them how to handle weapons. Not aggressively, not recklessly, but with discipline, with control. Don't point it unless you mean it. Don't fire it unless you have to. And if you have to, don't hesitate. His voice is calm, his instruction precise. The young people listen, some more seriously than others. Among them, Bobby Phipps leans a little too casually against a post, half listening, half drifting. He laughs at the wrong moments, misses the important ones, but he doesn't leave. That counts for something. Later, in the quiet of the church, Kennedy sits at the piano. Her fingers move slowly across the keys, producing a melody that feels older than the building itself. A few women sit nearby, listening, speaking softly among themselves when the music pauses. They come to her for guidance, for comfort, for something they cannot quite name. Kennedy listens, nods, speaks gently, but her eyes never quite match her voice. That afternoon, a dispute breaks out. Nothing serious. Two men arguing over land that had not belonged to either of them before the bad time, and does not clearly belong to either of them now. Voices rise, hands gesture. The line between disagreement and something worse begins to blur. Discipline with control. The sentries arrive quickly, not forcefully, but firmly. Caleb steps between them. Zion stands just behind. Enough. The word lands and holds. Later, the men sit before Judge Burns. The conversation is quieter now, measured. There are no fines, no prison, no written law, only judgment and expectation. You'll both work the South Field this week, Judge Burns says. Together, and you'll settle it there. They don't argue. Because in Allen, that is enough. As evening falls, the town gathers again. Meals shared, stories told, children playing in the fading light. It feels normal. But as the sun dips behind the mountains, the sentries return to their posts. The roads are watched, the tree lines observed, the silence beyond the valley listened to. Because Allen is not safe, it is protected. And those are not the same thing. That night, Ethan Jr. stands at the eastern road, looking out into the darkness beyond the rugged Vermont mountains. Old Ethan joins him after a while, saying nothing at first. You ever think about what's out there? Ethan Jr. asks. Old Ethan doesn't answer right away. Instead, he watches the horizon, the place where the road disappears. Every day. And old Ethan exhales slowly. I think. He stops. Then, quietly, I think we've been very lucky. The wind moves through the trees, soft, almost gentle. From somewhere far beyond the mountains, a sound carries, faint, unfamiliar, not wind, not water, something else. Ethan Jr. hears it, looks out into the darkness, but whatever it was, it doesn't come again. Somewhere, out there in the darkness, the wreckage of an ancient airliner has exploded in a small, contained forest fire. Behind them, the lights of Allen glow softly against the night, warm, steady, held together by people who have learned exactly how fragile that warmth really is.